We have three candidates up here. In the middle, we have Gloria Witt, who comes to us from Lynchburg, where she is recently retired from working in the global energy industry sector, and now she serves in a variety of leadership capacities. I think that's all the way off there. Yeah, up a little. Including as the president of the Amherst NAACP. She grew up on a farm in Amherst. She's lived in the community for much of her life, which gives her a deep understanding of Central Virginia. Paul Riley, on my far end, is a near neighbor to us in Fluvanna County. He and his family live in Crozet, just outside of Charlottesville, which they chose after time in Florida and New York. He worked in military intelligence in the Army for over 2 decades, and then served as a defense contractor, intelligence analyst, and counterinsurgency specialist. And Gary Terry, right to my right, grew up in Kentucky, is now a resident of Danville, and has been serving his community in Southside Virginia in a variety of community service positions. He's a West Point grad who also served in the Army and then transitioned into private industry and nonprofit leadership. So let's give these fine people a big round of applause. And I'll also remind us that we are live streaming on the Fluvanna Dems Facebook page. So if you've got friends who are caught in traffic or whatever, you can let them know. Hello to everybody on the Fluvanna Dems Facebook page. We're going to go over some quick ground rules, and then I will turn this over to the candidates. Each candidate will have 3 minutes for an opening statement. We drew names before the forum, and the candidates will be giving statements in the order that they're sitting in. We got questions that were pre-submitted from community members, and we've also given folks an opportunity to submit questions today, which we'll do in the second half of the Q&A. So if you have those, feel free to get them in the next couple minutes. We can't answer every question that was submitted. We got about 75 in the past week. Yeah, people are interested. And I've tried to choose questions that give the candidates an opportunity to speak on a breadth of topics. Everyone will have 90 seconds to answer the question. If they directly reference one of their opponents, that candidate will have 30 seconds for a rebuttal at my discretion. And then each candidate will have 2 minutes for a closing statement in the reverse order that they started. Make sense to everybody? Everybody on stage in particular? Great. Audience, no matter how you feel about how what a candidate says, I will encourage you to behave with some decorum. If you were in Louisa the other night, you know these things can go south very quickly. I don't expect a similar audience today, but my colleague from the Fluvanna Dems, Lennis, is over there at our merchandise table. Do not make me have to have Lennis escort you out. He will not like it. And let's, just for time's sake, let's not clap when candidates finish their answers, because it takes time away from getting to questions, and also it hurts your hands after a while, and nobody likes that. So let's, one more time, take the opportunity to welcome them. So for opening statements, we'll begin with Paul Riley.
Good afternoon, Fluvanna. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Thank you for coming out on this great day. I know there's probably many things you'd like to be doing besides sitting here at 3 o'clock and listening to us babble on incoherently. But my name is Paul Riley. I am originally not from here. I'm originally from a rural farming community in upstate New York, and that's where I was born and raised. And my first job actually was milking cows. So, believe it or not, so I milked a lot of cows for a few years, and then until I went to university, where I worked my way through 5 years. I was on a 5-year plan and graduated with a degree from Florida State University. So immediately upon graduation, I joined the Army, where I spent the next 21 years gallivanting around not only Oconus, but Panama, Germany, England. We were stationed, but I was also lived in every geographical region of America, and so I know America pretty well, and I know what it's going to take to get this district into the next cycle and make it become democratic again. I have 35 years of collective experience. My wife and my family and I retired out of Germany in 2010. That's why we moved to Crozet, because that's where I worked for the next 14 years as an intelligence professional at the National Ground Intelligence Center. So that culmination of that experience is what's going to get me to that next level. Because I'm fed up with what's going on in Washington D.C. The dysfunction and the despair that you see on a daily basis coming out of there is absolutely atrocious. They absolutely do nothing. This Congress is the worst Congress since 1932. And Bob Good, it thinks it's a badge of honor to, he even said, "You're welcome, America, the less we do, the better." So what do we do with poor performers when they don't do the job they're supposed to be doing? We fire them. And that's what we're going to do to Bob Good. We're going to fire him and get him out of there and put somebody in place that's going to reach across the aisle, put some bills forward, get some bills passed, and make sure that we make a difference. Because women's health is on the line, taxes are on the line, Affordable Care Act is on the line, Social Security is on the line, and so we need to get people there that are going to make this happen. And I'm that person to help you get that achievement. All right, thank you.
Gloria Whip.
Good afternoon, Fluvanna Dems. Thanks a lot for organizing and allowing us the opportunity to share our platform with you this afternoon. The name is Gloria Tinsley Witt. That's what's on the ballot. Slight correction. I was born and raised in Amherst County, Virginia. I'm still there. I did a renovation on the home house, and so I still live on a small farm, and now it's just a house. But I was born there without running water. And we process all of our meats, and I call myself a country girl because that's what we did. We lived off the land. Nowadays they call it organic. We called it survival. But it taught me about resilience, teamwork, endurance, because regardless of what was happening, the work had to get done. My values are family, God, social justice, and community building. My dad was a union worker, still founder union worker. My mom was a domestic and ultimately got a real job as a cook for the police department in Amherst County. So that's kind of like where I came from. Why am I doing this particular public service activity? Because our rights and freedoms are on the ballot. It's never been more obvious than with the overturning of Roe versus Wade, the overturning of the affirmative action legislation that allows people of color access to higher those Ivy League colleges, and that's just symptomatic, a symptom of what's going to happen if the MAGA right takes control again. If you're not familiar with the Heritage Project 2025, Google it. It's scary. It is scary, and they're telling us the playbook. Read about it and get people to the ballot votes. So I started running because our rights and freedoms are on the ticket. I think I'm that person because I've got 30 years of corporate experience, 10 years as a small business owner, and I think I'm ready for this moment. I know how to listen, not take no for an answer, and press to get an answer to move forward. So that's why I think I should be your candidate. So vote for Gloria.
And Gary Terry.
Good morning. Oh, good afternoon. I've lost a few hours. First of all, it is a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to be in Fluvanna, a beautiful day to be alive. Thank you for coming out to hear us talk. I think it's very important that we have the opportunity to listen to you and understand what you think is important. My name is Gary Terry. I am from Western Kentucky, but I grew up in a small town much like this. And like the other two, I worked detasseling corn. I worked cutting tobacco, and I also hauled hay. So we all have that type of background. Now, look, when I graduated from high school, I gained an appointment to the United States Military Academy. Graduated from there with a degree in engineering, spent 5 years in the Army. Then I spent a number of years in corporate America. I worked for 2 Fortune 500 companies. I worked for a Russian software company, so I had the opportunity to spend some time in Russia and other parts of the world. And then 14 years ago, I left the private sector and joined the nonprofit sector. I've been an executive director for the YMCA, and I'm currently CEO for the Boys and Girls Club. So I have gained a lot of leadership skills working in my career. But I am a passionate person. I call myself a servant leader. I've been involved in civic organizations all of my 40 years of work. I'm a member of the Lions Club, I'm a member of Kiwanis, I'm a member of Rotary, and I'm also a mentor for a 13-year-old boy as part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. So again, I call myself a servant leader. Now, the reason that I'm running for office is twofold. On a local level, the things that I see, like food insecurities, housing insecurities. I see a lot of our kids are in trauma, which I know the families in trauma. We need to solve those problems. In order for our district to move forward, everything has to be strong. People have to be strong. People have to have their basic needs taken care of. The second thing is, a lot of our rights are being trampled on. The rights of women to make a choice about their body. Our voting rights are being trampled on. The rights of our LGBTQ brothers and sisters are being trampled on. We have to have someone that will stand up and stop the craziness that's going on in Washington, D.C. Now, I'm running because I have a skill set that is perfect for working in Washington, D.C. We can't be nice. We can't be nice. But on the other side, we have to be able to work with folks. I had a friend not too long ago to tell me that, Gary, there are no common enemies, there are common interests. So we have to go out and find those folks that we have common interests with, and then start building those relationships so that we can solve the problems that we are facing. I think Paul said it, that our present congressman was proud of the fact that we hadn't passed any bills. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And that's time.
I'm getting the red flag, so I'll stop.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.